really would like more patience in my experience and letting things unfold and unravel a little bit more.
Here's what we have to say about patience. Patience has two very primary and very important in the way they play together components, because there's an eagerness for life that is so intoxicating. You were born with it, and if you allow yourself to be the freedom-seeking being that you are, that desire for expansion and for big, amazing, wonderful things to explode into your life experience will be the way your life experience is. And so within that patience, we want to include a fantastic eagerness for life. But no one would call it patience if in that eagerness for life you're so disappointed at the things that haven't manifested yet, and that feels like impatience, because you've put it in the vortex, your inner being is turning cartwheels over it, but you haven't seen it yet, so you're in contradiction to your own inner being, and so someone might call you impatient. And a lot of times people think that the remedy to being patient is just to want less. In other words, if you wouldn't get yourself all jacked up and excited about things, then patience would never be a problem, because you would never be standing without something that you want. And we just want to be clear that we would far, far, far rather see you in extraordinary impatience because of the powerful desire you've got, and you're not yet quite honing of your vibration of allowing, than that you are complacent and just whatever will be, will be. Because if you can hone it, if you can allow your desire to grow, and then you can line up with what that desire is,
absolutely,
you don't need patience if you understand that you can be or do or have whatever you want. Patience is something that you need to develop if you're not good at allowing what you want. So we're not going to encourage you to get some patience, because that's like saying get it all screwed up and don't feel bad about it. We'd rather that you feel impatience. That's like saying put a happy face sticker on your gas gauge so that you don't feel impatient when your gas tank is empty. Oh, I didn't like seeing that. I covered it up. Feel better not knowing. Some things I just feel better not knowing. No, we want you to know when you are contradicting your own intentions, and that's what impatience feels like, and it's a good thing when you feel it.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
The next thing I had, the other day I was thinking about the trip up here. I live south here about 2 hours, and a friend of mine that lives in Phoenix, we met in Phoenix about 19 years ago, and we collaborated and came together here for this, and it's just an incredible feeling that I get. It's like he and I picked up right where we left off. There's just that, that's how it was. But I just was telling him the other day, I was getting ready to, I was thinking about the weather. I was checking the weather, and I wanted to make sure there was enough propane for the fireplace, like, just in case it got cold while I was gone. I didn't want, my wife to be without fireplace or heat, whatever. And I heard a loud truck. I'm like walking across the house. I thought I saw something here. I was thinking about something to eat, and I opened up the cupboard, shut the door, started walking back over to the island. And then all of a sudden, something drew me to the front windows. I walked to the front windows. There's this propane truck going right by. And then I was like, you got to be kidding me. I walked outside to make sure that I wasn't seeing something, I wasn't hallucinating. And it was turning around and came back. And I was standing in the driveway. I'm like, hey, man, I'm right here. I'm right here. And he pulled right in front of my house, but he was there for the neighbor, obviously. But it was just an amazing thing. That was the most recent thing I wanted to say.
So that's timing, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. It was.
You see, that's how it is. Planning ahead is a good thing too. But you'd already planned ahead. And the universe knows what you want and knows where you are in relationship to the things that will satisfy what you want. Esther had a similar thing the other day where she woke up, and what was on her mind was to take the can to the curb, which she did. And a minute later, the garbage truck was there. That's timing. And while that seems silly and obvious, and maybe there are other ways of going about that, there are those kinds of things and hundreds of thousands of things like them that are rendezvousing on your behalf every single day. Things like that. Thoughts that you think, connecting up. Haven't you ever thought about someone and they call, or you're thinking about them and they text?
All the time.
Esther used to say thoughts are in the air, but now what she's realizing is that you're all broadcasting, but the thing that we really, really, really want you to hear is that you've been broadcasting, and who you are and what you want is really well known to the entire universe, and the cooperative components are being gathered. The propane tanks are lining up to give you what you want when you need it in every respect. And so when you are in a place where you're receiving, in other words, that's why that thought occurred to you when it occurred. You were prompted from a perspective of higher view. Years ago, Jerry and Esther were at the post office in Bernie. They went to get their mail, but they couldn't get into the post office because the banks of the Cibolo Creek had overflowed and the post office was flooded. No one could get in. And Jerry said, our friends who live in San Antonio, Pat and Lawrence, they have a 1,000-acre ranch, and that creek goes right through their property. Jerry said, let's call them and let them know that the Cibolo's out of its banks up here. And so they called, and their friends were able to get the cattle out of that pasture and move the tractors out of that pasture. And later that day, they called to thank them, and they said, it's so nice to have a friend upstream. Well, that's what we're talking about. You've got friends in high places. You have friends upstream. You have so much assistance and so much awareness and so much partnership in so much. So what you really want to do is to do whatever you can do to make yourself in the vibrational vicinity of hearing your partners. And when you're feeling sorry for yourself, you can't hear them. When you're afraid of something, you can't hear them. But when you're frisky and knowing who you are, and when you're loving and so forth, then you're in the place where these thoughts come. And once you get on this sort of deliberate rampage of getting out ahead of it by tuning and toning your frequency and then moving through life, the combinations of things that will line up for you. We've been saying that one who's connected to that is more powerful than millions who are not. There is a leverage in alignment that is indescribable. Strange that we use so many words to try to describe it, but there's a leverage in that alignment that puts you in the right place at the right time, not just to meet with the propane truck, but to rendezvous with the thought. There are all these rendezvous points that when you're hitting on them, it's not just that you're making it easier for the manifestations to come. You are, but that's not just that. It's that you're thrilled in this moment, in this moment, in this moment, in this moment too, because it can feel as rewarding to you when these thoughts connect as it feels when you rendezvous with the propane man on the street. Manifestation, 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 manifestation. Thought clicking, thought clicking, thought clicking. Ideas merging. Oh, we want to give you an aerial view so that you can feel and understand the dynamics of what it's like to be a creator in your body on this planet. Other thinkers and the things that they are thinking, and the things that you're thinking about the things that they are thinking. And so much of that being contrast that causes you to put what you really want into the vortex. And then you just find those moments in time where you deliberately line yourself up with the whole of who you are. And as you line yourself up with the whole of who you are, then the clicking, the synergy, the satisfaction of this moment and this one and this one and this one and this one, the truly living happily ever after. Not just when I meet my friend that I've known for 18 years and we're going to rendezvous in a city and do something fun. That's something really nice to look forward to. Not just when we go on our anniversary, whatever it is, or on our birthday party or whatever it is, or not just after I get that job or after I get that car or after I meet that person. Yes, lovely, lovely, we want all of that for you, but not only then, all of the times, all of the rendezvous. In other words, don't just look forward to the rendezvous with the ocean vacation that you've been looking for. Look forward to the rendezvous of how this thought clicks with this, and how this idea takes you to this new place, and how this idea causes you to rendezvous with this person who also has that idea, and together you collaborate into an idea that no one on the face of the earth has ever had before. That's the satisfaction that you are up and ready for. That's who you are, and that's why you came, you see. You are powerful creators who came into these bodies with enormous intentions, and you are loved beyond anything that you can define with words. And when you play this deliberate game of paying attention to who you are and tending to your vibration, and then you see with your own eyes and witness in your own experience something that you deliberately accomplished, and then you see the results of it, now you are the deliberate creator of your own experience, and there's no regression. You cannot go back. You cannot unknow what you now know.
That's the greatest.
And so that means that as you are moving forward in this magnificent world, you are going to see more and more of the delicious, extraordinary, amazing, positive, good feeling aspects of it. And in doing so, you're going to be a perpetuator of that, yes, but not just a perpetuator of it, a rendezvouser with it, not just a rendezvous with it, but a perpetuator of it. And as you do that, then you're in harmony, not only with your intent that you had when you came into this body to begin with, but the intent that you've picked up along the physical way. Oh, this is creation at its very best.